All right, welcome back, everyone, to Tanares Adventures and Tanares RPG production update here. It is September 4th. So, anyway, let's just kind of jump into it. This hopefully should kind of help maybe even clarify the update, the last update, a little bit better. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments, and then I'll be going through those as we go and try to answer them where I can. And then, and of course, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that normal stuff we do. All right, let me switch here. All right, so the timeline here. So unfortunately, we're kind of pushed back slightly to October production concluding. It's obviously a little bit later than what we are expecting. The main reasons being due to some troubles with painting for the auger miniature, being one of those things. Another is that the game boxes, when they were trying to print them, some of the images were kind of getting stretched and wasn't fitting exactly right. So it took a little rework in terms of that. And then, as probably many of you do know, that there has been additional rework that was being done to the rule books, journals, quest books. And so anyway, that was taking longer than expected. But all of that has now been submitted to the manufacturer. One caveat to that is that, and I have it here, start at the bottom. Now that the files have been submitted, the manufacturer needs to do another review in terms of the color and printing review with Dragori before the official, mass production of those parts are happening. And so that's even happened in previous components as well. So even when we said hey, this is done, it's done from Dragori's side, but there's still some kind of back and forth that happens before the official production begins. So anyway, just to clarify that, but basically, yeah, everything here has been submitted. In terms of shipping the game, which I know is really what people want to know and is really the hardest to really say, is the kind of October time is what we're expecting. But really, we need to have the manufacturers and the logistics partner complete their shipping plan before we can really kind of start giving more details. And really, we've said this before in the past that kind of you have to get closer to the end to really have that better idea. And that's really what this is. So it's not anything additional. It's just the normal part of the process that they make these shipping plans, and in terms of getting the items collected and then getting them split out between the different boats and where they're going. And then, of course, November Pledge Manager timeframe should reopen. I'm hoping that we'll be able to stick to that. I've was trying to get some additional information from our marketing team, which is usually the team that's working with CrowdOx on that, but haven't gotten a lot of other information from them. So I'm still expecting that it should be November. And this was previously announced in the last update, but just clarifying that there. Still, well, I guess for people that may have not seen the last update, we are still looking at we are looking at Q1 timeframe for Tanares RPG, and the remaining RPG rewards begin mass production, and then the RPG digital files, when those get sent to the manufacturer to print, then that's when we'll be able to send those out to backers. So that way you guys don't have to wait for the files to get there. If you want to play at least digitally. Obviously, if you want the physical, then it'll be a little bit longer than that. For Q2 is where we're looking at. So, obviously, as we're getting closer to those periods in time, we'll have a better idea of that time frame. Anyway, so that is the production. I guess the biggest thing is that top part here with the October timeline. And just to clarify, because I know some people were really confused by it, I actually did have that October information in the update, but at the time, Alex was a little unsure. The manufacturer was not giving a specific time frame for the conclusion of the production, so they wanted to wait until they got some better information, and now we feel like that is what's going to be the actual time frame. But of course, these are all estimates. If other things pop up or something, then theoretically that could change things, but going based on the best information we have now, that's where we're at. Okay, so let's move on to the next subject here. So if you're just interested in the timeline, then that's basically all I have for you for today. But if you want to check out some of these pictures, then you might want to stick around. Okay, so we got here, and just to clarify too, these are final production pictures. These aren't resin ones. This is actually from the manufacturer. So that's Balara there with her little spider friends there at the bottom. Definitely looks like a big improvement from way back when we had the kind of the gaps in the model. So looking a lot better there. There we go. And then we got the Demon here, also final production model picture as well. That one also definitely looking pretty good to me. The details on the sword look like they came out a little bit better than I kind of thought that they would. So that's pretty awesome. Next up is Ardlog, I believe. He's the Chimera. Unfortunately, there's not a side shot, as I know there's a little bit more to kind of see with this one. I just got this front shot from them, so this is the only one we have on there. But this is also a final production shot there. And here we go, what many of you wanted to see. This is the unpainted Gold Dragon final version. So this is what he'll look like when he's assembled, obviously. But that's what the unpainted version will come like. And then if you want to see the painted version, which I did link in the video here, that is the actual final production painted miniature for the Gold Dragon. Definitely looks a lot better. I know when we saw some of the earlier pictures of the Gold Dragon, it was significantly brighter and it looked more like a bronze color. So I feel like they really improved kind of like maybe that washing in some of those dark tones, so it's a little easier to see. But anyway, that is the Gold Dragon painted final production there. And let's jump on to, oops, wrong button. All right, so for, and part of the reason I did the update today in European time zone was, of course, to include you guys as well, but also because I finally got to see some pictures here of some translated cards. So I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly which language is which picture. I think it might be a mix. I'm assuming this might be German, but you guys feel free to clarify if I'm wrong on that. And so really, if you've seen these cards before, pretty much most of these come either in the core box of Arena the Contest, like for example all those level up cards that are shown in the picture and the heroic actions, and then but the ones that are like below here that show like the talismans, those are all coming in the Dragon collection. So those ones come from there. This one's a little harder to see if we're kind of focused out, but you kind of get the idea here. These are all cards from Boss versus Boss. You'll see the symbol here in that top left corner. That's how somebody can tell what card belongs to what. If it is a card like this one, for example, here with the Balroth, you'll notice that he doesn't have that symbol. That means that's his card for fighting him in the quest or the campaign, depending on which one you do. But yep, all of these translated cards. I believe a lot of these are just like the back side. And they also have the picture of the boss versus boss on the back too. So that way you can more quickly figure out which card belongs to which. And, of course, we've mentioned this multiple times before, but just in case somebody is wondering, so this is, delivering Arena of the Contest, the Dragon Collection, Legendary Box items, but the RPG, the Tanares Adventures is what's specifically coming later with the RPG books. So those cards will come there. It won't cost any of these backers that get the translation anything additional. Has always been the direction on that, and I expect that to still continue to be the case. So anyway, you guys shouldn't see any additional charge for receiving this translation. And I think there's a couple more here. Lots and lots and lots of cards. If you have the game already, you'll probably already know. And here's the heroes. And yeah, can kind of see them. I think a few of these have been in different languages. I haven't really looked super closely to figure out which language might be for which one. But I believe that's why we're seeing multiple cards at the same time. Here we go. I got the hero pads also. Well, and that's carpet. Translated. Can't really see the back sides there, but there's some of the boss pads. Here's some of the hero pads. Also a little challenging to see just because it's a bigger shot here. But anyway, those are the translated cards. So they are coming. Let me quickly look at questions while I was talking. Oh, thanks for the table. Yeah, or the table comment. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I probably will do like a review or something in maybe a couple months, or I don't know. I want to get a good amount of time with the table before I review it. I feel like too often people review something very quickly just to kind of get those views in, and I've already gotten the table like about over a year after other people, so it really doesn't. I'm not getting it, like into YouTube any quicker than anyone else. So I'll just do that when I feel like I have something really to say about it. Okay, and then let's see. Excited to dive into the TAM for Christmas. I really hope it'll come for Christmas, but we'll see. I'm psyched for whenever I see it. You got a comment about the table. Looks great. Yeah, the table is definitely awesome. I have a whole story on that, but I'll probably save that for something else so I don't bore everyone else here for it. But just regarding that wood that I got for it. Let's see. It's finally starting to come together. French ones. Is there a plan for Jagori to make replacement cards and minis in the future? What do you mean for that? You mean like for Tanares Adventures, like for those kind of cards, maybe getting like a Tanares 1.5 or something? Because I'll say, at least just assuming that's your question, I'd say not right now. I haven't heard of any plan yet. They're trying to get it as good as possible so that we don't really need a 1.5. But, it always happens in board games, right? There's always second editions and so that come. So it's hard to say that that'll never be the case. And let me change this real quick here. All right. So good news for translations. These are the arena translations. Nothing for Tanares. Yeah, correct. So that's why I mentioned a little earlier. Tanares Adventures translations will come with the RPG book wave. If you didn't even get anything with any of those RPG books, don't worry about it. It'll still come in the same time frame. Will there be a chance to back pre-order Arena and Tanares anytime soon? Unfortunately, no. That ship kind of sailed back. I guess kind of a pun there. Ship sailed back in like beginning of July. That was kind of the cutoff in terms of board game stuff. There is a slight possibility, and I've tried to avoid saying this because I know as soon as I say something like this, somebody's going to get disappointed later and be like, you said that you could get this still, and maybe forgot about the clarifying aspect. They're going to print a certain amount of game boxes, right? And theoretically, we always try to do more than what just for the orders, right? One is partially for replacement, some is so maybe Jorgori could go to like conventions and stuff and sell these, but they also are planning to have some extras that they may be able to sell in the RPG Pledge Manager when it reopens again, that there might be a limited stock, but that doesn't guarantee that you'll be able to get one. Like, you could get in there and it could already be sold out, and I'm not sure if everything is even going to be available. So I specifically try to stay away from the topic because I just feel like it's going to lead to disappointment for people. And I'd hate to, disappoint you guys more than already all the delays and all the other crazy crap that's already happened, because it's been so long for people. Yeah, we'll talk about the table more. What makes the Journal of Tanares so long to conclude? RPG development is still working on. So RPG team has actually not been working on the RPG for an extensive period of time. It's one thing that it was mentioned in previous updates, but I feel like a lot of people may forget that the teams have shifted to try to focus on getting Tanares Adventures complete. And it's a lot of work to do that, and so a lot of teams are pulled into it. In fact, part of the reason you guys don't even see me putting out as many videos recently is because every week I'm helping doing, reviews of either cards or different books, quests, or helping coordinate people that can help. We had a group that was helping with the rule book. I was helping contract some editors for getting some of the other documents reviewed by other English editors. So it's just a huge process. They did kind of change of the structure. I don't really want to, the structure of the journals. I don't really want to go into a lot of it right now because it feels like it needs a bigger discussion to really talk and explain how that is. But there is even things, there's a number of changes that have been made even since the Meeting Tanares Adventures series. So we'll do it probably won't be like a super highly edited video like that, but we will talk about that later. As some of the other changes that were made. We will actually be looking at the quest book. That's actually what I'm going to jump to as soon as we can finish these questions. So all the Arena of the Contest and Tanares will ship in October. Sorry, Walkland Doc. Correct. That, at least that's the tentative plan, and what we're aiming for, but we're kind of waiting to see what will actually happen once that shipping plan is complete. Any Tanares related pictures? That's a good question. There is a ton of artwork. Just even the rule book. And by the way, let me mention, God, I get so distracted in these all the time. Okay, so the rule book and the quest start guide, quick start guide, I will hopefully be releasing by Friday this next coming week. So you guys can start looking over that. There's even a lot of amazing artwork in that, and even more so in the journal, the quest books. It's crazy. And so that, that's one of the things that maybe some people have discounted from the RPG is that, well, it's taken up production and everything. But there was two separate teams with it, but at the same time, a lot of that artwork was helped Tanares Adventures become a much more beautiful game because of that. So you'll see later once we get to that. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is, so we did photos, translation photos. Okay, we're gonna look at the quest book. I have two that we're going to look at here. Okay, so many of you guys might be familiar with this before. This is the Lava Axe quest from Tanares Adventures. We did it in the Meeting Tanares Adventures video series, but this is like the final. And when I say final, I mean that it's, like everything we described before, with also the note that the version I'm looking at right now, I believe is like 200 megabytes or something like that. It's a pretty big file. And this is like the compressed version. The actual one is like gigabytes. So that's why you even see like this picture here. It looks okay, but it's not like a high resolution shot because it's not the actual one that's going to get printed. This is just one for like reviewing PDF wise. Okay, so Lava Axe here. If you followed some of this, I'll try to help explain. Basically, in this one, you're trying to obtain the Lava Axe and kill all the villains, which basically it's a lot of an orc tribe has taken over that sort of. There's actually more to that's going on. When you see something like this, read 4.10, that means you're going to go to chapter 4 of the journal and then point 10, and that's where you'll read for once you've completed this primary objective. And there's I guess this wasn't talked about before, so there is a if you lose option now. In the journal where you'll kind of go different directions. So you can replay it if you want, of course, but there actually is a reward essentially for losing. I think it goes like 2 possible ways now. I'm trying to remember, but anyway, yeah, there is a reward. Let's say you spend 2 hours playing this quest and you lose, that you still are going to get something out of it, and you're still going to progress on. Even if you lose the quest. So that is actually different than what we had in Tanares Adventure, or the Medium Tanares Adventures series. There is the extra challenge, which of course has been mentioned before. All the orcs surrender, and then surrendering is talked about here and how you do that. There's a red door that you have to get through. This symbol here is an interact symbol for getting Cordal's hidden treasure, which is on the map on the next page here. There's oftentimes these little sections here like rule reminders about chess, for example, how you can use those. This is actually a slight change to chess rules if you're a player of Arena the Contest. Previously, when you got a chest, you immediately got the rewards. Now you pick up the chest, and at the end of any of your hero's turns, you can choose to open that chest and then get the health and split it, accordingly, like described there. So that is a slight change. I think that's definitely an improvement from previous rules. Okay, and then events. So these are the main setup. So it says that after you've read this section, then go read 4.1, chapter 1 in chapter 4 in the journal, section 1. And then these R's, I believe, are like the main rules of that. I'd have to double check, but I believe that's what the R stands for. And then kind of describes that. And then there's setup here for event 1, and then an event 2, and those tie into the journal. Fortunately, I can't show you I can't really show you the journal right now, but should be able to do it, I think, next week. I think I should be able to show you. I was specifically asked not to show everything today. All right, then we have the the sergeant here, which is a little bit spoilery, but some of you may already know that if you watched some of the series before. And then, so he has his primary attack, special passives, favorite target, of course. And then here's the information for setting up the quest. Like I said, it looks grainy in this picture, and once you get the real book, it's not going to be grainy. But you know, a lot of this same stuff is already used in Arena of the Contest, so very much similar in that regard. Oh, and then you have like it's hard to see, but you have these shield symbols that helps to remind you that these villains are guarded. Okay, let's move to Chapter 5. Mushrooms of Wrath. This is also one that we showed in the live stream of at the conclusion of the Meeting Tanares adventures. So I just thought I'd go over that one real quick. Same kind of thing. So you're trying to finish all the events and the XP token not running out. Similarly, you go to Chapter 5, Section 11. If you win the primary objective, same thing. If you lose, remove three barrels for more rewards. Oh, okay. Special rules. Same thing where you are trying to, you know, get the food for the wagons and stuff. There's some more rule reminders on here. Peasants and, you know, lots of good stuff. If you watch the stream, you should. This is still, I think, pretty close to about the same as it was before, but it's all written out here now in the quest. And then here's the initial setup. The main reason I bring this one up is just because this quest is slightly different. I will say that one-shots definitely still do exist in Tanares Adventures, but because the quests are so tied into the narrative aspect, it's a little harder to show everything just by looking at the quest guide. So for this one, for example, this will give you the initial setup for the map here, right? So you have where these minions are, which are labeled here. You have a mission tile, and then, you know, portal and other stuff. But this is just the initial one. To get the two other phases of this quest, you do actually need to look in the chapter of the journal to complete it. So I just wanted to bring that up for maybe some people that may not be aware. So you're really still going to need essentially those two books, which does make it a little more challenging for maybe some people that are on tighter space, I would think. But you know, it's very tied into the story, so a lot of that is still there. Okay. Hi, it all looks great. Can I ask, because my memory fails me, if we bought the all-in Arena Tanares pledge and then also bought the RPG bundle too, are they being shipped separately or all together? Everything is being, anything board game related or miniature related is all coming in the wave that we discussed about earlier here in hopefully October time. And anything that's strictly the RPG, so like the books, the dice, the maps that are the RPG specific maps, those are all coming later. So those will be 2023. But all the board game related items should be shipping here hopefully in October. Okay. And then, let's see, I have one other I think it's just one other thing. Oh, I was just going to look at the rulebook components. Since I get this asked a lot, I thought it would be helpful for you guys to see the... Oh, wait, no, I had one other thing. I forgot I was going to do this one. Okay, sorry about that. It is right here, the campaign log. It is pretty beautiful. So there is these campaign perks and mastery system you'll see here that you can essentially get and unlock as you go on. I'm not going to show everything in the campaign log because there is kind of a section that's a little more spoilery, but you know, you'll kind of figure it out. So they're kind of divided into these different areas. warriors, strategists, spies, diplomats, and that will actually be described more in detail in the city book. The city book is kind of like, it's kind of, so we promised 2 books. One of the books is, the journal, very like we already know about. The city book has some journal aspects to it, but it also has kind of how this campaign element ties into the game. So, and there's some other stuff. Here is the phase calendar here. So we have all the phases. City phase, right? City phase will be tracked here. And then the quest that you do here. And then the Kemet level that you're going to do. There's now also a world phase. The world phase is very similar to the city phase. It's almost like the exact same kind of rules. But maybe some people might like this a little bit better. You'll see it here soon, actually. I'll show you the at least what shows on the map here. We talk about what Kemet hunts are a little bit. Here's the list of quests. I've shown this before, so this isn't technically a spoiler. So you'll mark those down that you've completed there. And this is the region. So remember, there was like a... and this is on the backside of the city map, the city phase map. So the backside of the city map is now this one, which is the world phase. And basically, you're going to be doing a system very similar to that. It's not shown in this one, but the rules of like how you do it, the world phase, and same thing with the city phase, they're actually written on the map, so you'll be able to see that. Okay, and then here's some mastery stuff. I gotta watch how far I go down in this, I believe. So there's masteries that you unlock. Basically, it's like you've done a certain aspect of the campaign. So like the very beginning of the campaign, basically you rescue a bunch of the civilians from the Kemet. And I think one of the first masteries you get is called Prestige with the Peoples. Or Prestige with the People. Anyway, so you'll put a little like dot there to indicate that. And I think it unlocks other things. But basically, it's more tied to like some of the progression of the game. There's some stuff about the puzzles down below, but the next section is the one that I can't technically show you yet until, without kind of spoiling a few other things. So we'll probably have to skip that part. It's not 82 quests. It's more than that. It's 101 quests, technically. This could be an older one. I actually noticed the same thing too, because it definitely doesn't have all of them on there. I did see a different version before that had the 101, but this was like the colorized version, and the other one's like was a black and white, and so I think this one might have preceded that one. So that's why. But there is 101 quests. There is a lot there. Okay, and then the next thing is, I think the last thing we have to talk about here is the component list. Which I might have mentioned this before, but I thought I'd just go over it again. Let's do questions real quick. All right, and the sleeves, it's both board and RPG. You're right. The RPG sleeves will technically come with the RPG books. So if you got the previous sleeve one, you should have everything that you need for Tanares Adventures, but you might be slightly a little short for all of the RPG characters. But they did that because, the card number isn't set for example, like the GMless mode or whatever. That's not currently set yet, so the cards haven't been figured out. So they didn't want to set that without having it all figured out already. So the world phase looks like it's something that would be cumulative. Is there an easy way to track if you're flipping the board back and forth? Yeah, in fact, that's actually the campaign log that we were just looking at. That is that. Because what I showed you is like a separate piece of paper. The campaign board itself, in fact, it shows right here. So this poster that it says right here, poster map, city phase, and then it says /world phase, because that's on the back side of this poster. So you'll keep track of that on the campaign log. But when you play, you'll play on the back side of the city phase. Hope that clarifies there for you. Yeah, delivery in the end of the year. Yeah, you're right. It does kind of suck. So, well, I can't really control anything about that. But okay, so 6 room tiles. There's 17 other tiles. Basically, it's like barricades. Some of these ice areas, the void area. NPC tokens, some other first aid tokens, skill tokens, role tokens, condition tokens. These ones are actually like often like the new ones that most of like the villains use, but not necessarily the ones that the heroes use. There is the boss squared disc that's going to be used specifically when you do the boss fights that require you changing that direction of the boss's side, which I did a video on previously if you want to check that out. More villain tokens, hero tokens, object tokens, the journal, the quest guide, which is what we were looking at a little bit earlier, the rule book, quick start guide, city book, that's the one I talked about earlier but haven't gotten it shown, and then the campaign log. Plastic pieces, we have a boss snap-on base. I think I've talked a little bit about it, but basically it'll kind of, you put this boss squared disc on it and it allows you to like rotate it. So it's pretty cool, or at least I'm expecting it to be pretty awesome. We have some more snap-on bases, mana cubes, fatigue cubes, miniatures. So we have 68 there between the medium size, the large. Skill pads, 8 of those, 16 hero pads, a lot of heroes, 4 boss pads, 3 player aids, 98 monster cards. There's a lot of monsters there. That's because there's a decent amount of monsters, but then it's also, there's I think 3 different levels. So you may have like a level 1 zombie or something, and then there's like a level 2 zombie that's a red one that is different. It's a different card. It's not just level and damage is increased. The effects even change as well. Boss cards, which are used in the boss fights, 126 item cards, 60 loot cards, 6 companion cards, which are used specifically with the commanders, 56 exclusive attack cards, or the hero specific ones. So those are for the new heroes. There is 20 replacement attack cards. I think I did talk about this before. They will have a mark to indicate that, but it's specifically for the heroes that have abilities that don't really work or translate well for Tanares adventures. Like, for example, Talia has Shield of Flowers, which basically prevents a primary attack, which would be insanely powerful for her to use in PvE. So we have an altered version of that now. 144 role-based attack cards. Basically, it's like a set of cards that is all tied to a specific class. So, brutes all have the same kind of card, but then you can use those depending on your level to insert those into your attack deck. 41 hero cards, 63 solo cards. The solo cards are for you to be able to play with less than four players. So say you and one other person are playing and you have to use 4 heroes, so you can have 2 comrades is what they're called, and then you can use those solo cards with that, so they change. And then PvP, AI PvP cards, 10 of those. 98 NPC cards. Those are the ones that you earn through the city phase, and I don't think you earn them in the world phase. I think it's just the city phase, but or you earn them from quests. There is a number of ways actually to get NPC cards, but they'll be used in those different modes, but they also have a use, like a special power that will be attached to a specific hero within a quest. So you still kind of get something cool to do with them as well. Boss fight cards, the boss versus boss. So these are the new bosses being added into that game mode, which I'm still hoping to record the video. We did a playthrough, but I haven't actually recorded it yet. 28 city structure cards, 83 quest cards, 45 adventure cards. That's kind of something to describe that I need to describe at some point, but basically it's before a lot of the quests was like you look at the cards and then you just decide pretty much based on the picture which one you wanted to like do. Now it's more tied into like this journal aspect where based on your actions will kind of dictate what quest you come out with. There is a way also to skip that if you want. There's a fast action mode. Basically, you just jump to the last item or a certain set situation. It'll just give you like, you know, the quick synopsis of what's happening, and then you play that quest. Okay. And that's it. That's basically just what I want to talk about. And I wanted mostly to talk about it because many people ask me about the number of cards that there are. And the number of cards is, I wrote it down here. It is 922 cards between all of these card types. So this includes, well, I don't know if you can technically fit one of these skill pads with a card. I personally don't know of one. There might be, but there is one for hero pads for sure. And boss pad size, but then all these other cards definitely will have sizes for those. But anyway, 922 in total. So that's actually more than double, I believe, the amount of cards that was originally promised. There's a lot there. A lot there, guys. Let me look here on any other questions. What stream was he talking about when he was showing off the chapters of the book? I'm not sure which chapters you're referring to. You talk about the Me and Tanares Adventures series. That might be probably the one that we looked at the lava axe quest like a little quickly on that one, but you kind of got an idea of what was happening on that one. It'd be nice if it finally reaches the table. Okay. Anyway, that's it. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to let me know. For me, just this last weekend here, I went to ReaperCon, which is a miniature convention here in Denton, Texas, and got to do that. I only went one day this time. I've previously been for like the whole week or the 4 days of the convention, but didn't do it this time. Just didn't have really enough time to kind of do it, and allowed my wife to kind of enjoy on that more this time. Also, a reminder, we are going to do a sample quest of Tanares Adventures and Tabletop Simulator once everything has been like absolutely finalized, even with the manufacturer. And then me and Wantuan will work on getting that updated so you guys can check out the game while you're waiting for it to reach you. And then also I got to teach Arena of the Contest to a family member. She's going on a cruise here, and she wanted to take the game and show off to some people for her. Like, she's going on a writing convention thing. So thought I'd show her that, and had a good time. Oh, you're around the Dallas area too. Cool. All right. Well, anyway, that's it, guys. All I have for today. Like I said, I hope to put out the rulebook and quick start guide on Friday. And then we should be having some other stuff here that you guys can start seeing pretty soon. Some stuff in Tabletop Simulator and other events. I also have Mariska here has been helping me get Tanares RPG. I should probably just change this. Hold on. Has been helping me get Tanares RPG integrated with the sample. So if you are in North America and you are interested in playing the Tanares Adventures sample with us, we're trying to set something up here. So let me know if you would like to play. I think I will probably be the DM for it, but anyway, we'll see. I personally have never done a digital one, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, we'll definitely post the PDF of the campaign log, so that way you can definitely print off more if you need them. That is something that I discussed with Clayton before about doing. So there is the one that's in the box. So if you want the quickest version, obviously it's just scanning that one and or copying that one and printing it out, or you can get the PDF and do that one. But anyway, that is it for today, guys. Hopefully it was helpful for you, give you a little more clarity as to what's going on. We are definitely getting very close to the end, I think, here of the production. I know it feels like we've been saying that forever. I feel like I repeat myself a lot and do the same thing, but there's just different things that come up, but they are trying to make a much better game than what Arena the Contest gave people, and hopefully we can actually deliver on that. But obviously you guys are the judge of that, and you'll hopefully let us know in kind words once we get there. But anyway, that is it for today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks.